Hi, this is Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, and you are watching the Nerf Herder Council.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
You can't use that word. Only we can use that word.
You're tuned in to the Nerf Herder Council, your source for Star Wars opinion, conversation, and debate. Featuring your hosts, JT.
I don't care. It's close enough. I'm not here to be accurate, god damn it. I'm here to just say it.
AJ.
They literally sneak out by hiding a girl under a giant trench coat like a Three Stooges gag. What the f***, Disney Plus? Come on now.
On this episode of the Nerf Herder Council, it's the dawning of a new era. AJ's moved into a new studio, and for the first time in 7 years, we're reviewing a new Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. This is the Nerf Herder Council. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. I am your host, JT. We are live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel, as well as the Twitch channel of the Nerf Herder Council. We are also on the Facebook page and YouTube channels of the Virtual Cantina Network. We are at those locations every other Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. As always, we are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. If you have not done so and you're watching on either of the two YouTube channels, please remember to click the like button, click the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time we go live. If you would like to pick yourself up some awesome Virtual Cantina Network swag, just go to tpublic.com/user/virtual-cantina. And to get some awesome customizable Nerf Herder Council swag, just go to shop.nerfherdercouncil.com. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, just want to remind you guys here real quick that Boonta Eve Special Edition Texas 2 Electric Boogaloo will be coming up at Rebel Scum Con on Friday, August 7th of this year from 8 until midnight at the Revel Patio Grill at 9305 Preston Road in Frisco, Texas. Ticket prices: adults are $35, kids under 12 are $30 with a paid adult. VIP is $50, which includes early entry, line skipping, priority seating, and special swag. There will be meet and greets with Star Wars celebrities, sabak, courtesy of our friends at Hyperspace Props, and live band karaoke, as well as full bar and food menu available. This is brought to you by our sponsor, New Hampshire LASIK Associates. See the galaxy in a whole new way. Before we get to tonight's stuff, our amazing stuff. Why I just keep saying stuff, I have no idea. In any case, number one, we're talking Mando and Grogu, and there will be spoilers. Number two, the views of the Nerf Herder Council don't necessarily reflect those of the Virtual Cantina Network. And third, there may be some bad language on our show, so if you don't like that kind of shit, you might want to jump now. So without further ado, appearing on the first show of a brand new era for himself, as my voice cracks, he is my best friend, my co-host, and now in a new studio, in his new home, it is my brother AJ. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Yeah, I hope the audio and visual quality isn't, so poor tonight. Unfortunately, this is still my face. There's only so much you can do about that. It's going to be a little bit echoey because one of the boxes that I've yet to unpack in my new locale is the one that has my microphone and my soundboard and my webcam and all the other stuff that I use for podcasting. So we're going a little bit old school on this one. It's whatever my laptop can give us for a podcast tonight, folks. Sorry about that.
Well, all that matters is that you're here. I mean, you're toughing it out. We're doing a show. So, and it just sounds echoey, like you're in a giant unfinished basement room. Well, it's a finished room, but there's nothing in it but you, pretty much. So,
Oh, if only that were true. If only that were true.
well, I know there's boxes of crap everywhere, but that's behind the scenes. We can't be giving that away. That's for the Patreon subscribers.
Oh, my bad. Oh, sorry.
Look at that. Your audio's bad. Now you're effing around like that. Look at that. There we go. There's my first attempt at not dropping an F-bomb. So, I'm in the middle of a contentious, well, not in the middle of, because we're going to podcast, but I'm having a contentious text thread with the band because they want to book a show on December 19th. I'm like, yeah, I've got the Talking Into Infinity fan hangout the night before, which usually goes 5+ hours. I usually end up pretty damn drunk. So I said, look, I don't have it requested off. This is how responsible I am as a 50-year-old man. I said, I don't have it requested off because I didn't figure this late in the year we'd get any offers. But if you insist on doing a show, making me drive over 3 damn hours to Minster to play a bowling alley, I am probably still going to be drunk. I'm going to stink like shit, even though I showered, and my voice is going to be completely and utterly shot. So go ahead and book the show at your own risk. But I am not having fun on the fan hangout. So, so that's my current thing. But
that is hardcore. So podcast over band. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, I put everything over the band. I drive hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And if I want to take one damn night off because I'm kicking ass on my other podcast and having a blast with all the viewers, listeners, whatever, I'm allowed to. So, yeah, see? Look at that. Kale and Shasta, good to see. They get it. Real quick, you're going to start out with, but I would like to say that I am very excited this week. Because I've got some really cool stuff coming up. So this will be very quick because you're a part of the first one. But on Friday afternoon, you and I are taking a train trip with a steam engine, not a diesel. And we are taking my grandson, MJ, a.k.a. the Boogster, on his very first train ride. And it just so happens to be on a steam engine, not a diesel. So that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. And Saturday, I've got a show out in Troy, Ohio. We're headlining something called the Strawberry Festival, which is always a lot of fun. And we are bringing my dog Tux for the first time. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who don't know, my wife and I adopted a little special needs senior. Today's actually 2 months since we got him, but he's paralyzed in the back end. So he takes a little bit of work, but he has to wear a doggy diaper and stuff. And we were thinking like, well, since I usually have to be gone for like 10, 12, 14 hours for these shows, we have a little stroller. Why can't we bring him with us? They're all outdoor festivals. So Tuxie is going on his first road trip as the official dog of Brother Believe Me. So I'm very excited for that this week. So,
plus, I mean, I don't know if this is in poor taste or not, but I mean, this is actually one of the advantages that he presents is he literally cannot go running off.
Well, you know what? You would think that. But he is actually a fast little bastard, man. He can scoot. Like I've already determined that we, with our Wayne boy, he was Sir Sploot. Well, Tuxie is quickly becoming Sir Scoot. So there we go.
That's great. There we go. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah, there we go. Kaylee says, "Brother Believe Me, Brother Believe Me's Tux tour. You know it, man. Tuxie on the road. Tux on the run." All right, so you wanted to start out before we get to Mando and Grogu with a little story, Star Wars story from earlier this. It was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah. We've got another contentious bit of Star Wars trivia going on here. As you know, the Aluminum Falcons are undefeated, and last Wednesday was Star Wars trivia at Lakewood Truck Park near where you used to work, and. Yep. Close to where we live. So, yeah, I rolled up there with some friends of mine from the gym, and I basically told them, sit down, drink your beers. I got this.
Right.
So I basically soloed it. But I have to say that the official standings had the Aluminum Falcons come in second place.
I am on your side on this because you told me these questions.
The damn trivia jockey didn't know what the fuck he was talking about, and he didn't even have proper grammar on one of the questions. So, dude, get this. Okay, so I was JT. I was texting you throughout. Not cheating, by the way, guys. But actually, towards the end, yes, cheating because fuck this game. But okay, so
I think everybody.
I'll toss this one out to the audience. Okay, so the first question that I had a problem with: name the Jedi Knight that trained Luke Skywalker. I'll give you a few seconds. Now, my answer was there's a couple, as we know. My answer was Yoda. I was wrong. Obi-Wan Kenobi was the only answer accepted. My issue is neither Kenobi nor Yoda were a master or were a knight when they trained him. So the real answer is no one. No Jedi Knight ever trained Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. See, Kale's saying he said Obi-Wan didn't really train him. Kale, that was my thing.
That's why we went for Yoda.
He knew him for a couple of hours. Like, you can't say that. That's why you go Yoda. John Phillips, great to see you too, man. He says Yoda. Yeah, I mean, when
Obi-Wan even says, go to Dagobah, train with Yoda.
Yep. Yeah, as soon as you told me that one, I was like, oh, this isn't good. And then you kept getting more and more pissed. And I was like, yeah, this guy don't know his ass from a Star Wars hole in the ground.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was already some bullshit. And then I'm actually blanking on the second question that was factually wrong from the start. But
if I could go back in our texts.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. But how about this one? This is a great question. English failed the guy. I triple checked with the guy. I went around the table to make sure I had heard it correctly, and then I asked the guy directly, verbatim. Here's the question. What planet is Mustafar known for?
Yeah.
As far as I know, my Star Wars lore, Mustafar is a planet. So what planet is a planet known for?
Earth, because that's where it was filmed.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't miss that one, thankfully. I did get it right. I said it's a lava planet. So, yeah, but I'm like, you didn't even proofread your damn questions, dude. Like, forget about the facts of it. Get English right. Let's start with the basics.
Do you think this was one of those ones that we've done before where the guy opened the minute I just looked up a Star Wars quiz online and chucked it into
Right. Yeah, it's like a BuzzFeed article or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But anyway, the other thing that was weird was the point totals went up every round. So it started at like 10 points, 25 points, 50 points. By the last round, it was 250 points. And one of the questions that I missed was one of these multiple possible answers, but I'm only going to accept one, and you have no way of knowing which one I'm going to accept. So I lost by 100 points. I'm calling that a victory, because if my score had been tallied correctly, I would have gotten enough points to win the game.
I think it's legit. I think it's legit, and I think it's legit because we've played contests before where we have told the host when they have a wrong answer, we're like, it's this one. He's like, really? And then we prove it. They're like, all right, you got it right. You get the points. And we've gotten those points. And they've put us over the top for victories before. So the fact that this guy just doesn't want to say, yeah, I effed up. Sorry about that. And he just wants to be an a-hole. Yeah, that shouldn't really.
Yeah, DJ EZ with a Z. Yeah. I guess he just wasn't interested in Star Wars. I don't know.
Wasn't there a spelling one? Wasn't there a spelling one or something? Because I remember texting you something like that, or there was something that was so persnickety, because I remember texting you like, that's like him saying, well, what planet is Chewbacca from? And you answer Kashyyyk with 2 Y's, and he goes, no, sorry, you're wrong. It's 3 Y's. But I said Kashyyyk, asshole. Like what the hell? Yeah, I know.
Oh, here's the other one. Name the spice mined on Kessel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
do you know the answer?
Well, I mean, you told me what he said. Yeah.
Yeah, if you know it, guys, sound off in the comments, because the answer that was accepted was coaxium. Kel McLeish guessed coaxium. However, that is starship fuel. That is
Yeah.
not a drug that people snort.
Yes.
So that question is straight friggin' wrong. And
Yeah.
I don't accept that bullshit. So
yeah, I remember
I've been
when
telling you
told
for
me
years, man. We got to write our own quiz. We got to host our own trivia night.
we should. You know what we should do?
We should just do it.
We should make that like an episode. We should have it be like that could be. Yeah. See, Keanu knows. There he is. There's my dude. What's up, John? Great to see you, bro. He knows. Yeah. It's some different term, but it's definitely not fucking coaxium.
I kind of wanted to tank the whole game. I was getting all like snippy. I was thinking like one of the questions was what planet is Princess Leia from? And I wanted to be like, she's actually from an asteroid named Polis Massa. That's where she was born. So
that'd be great. No, I believe you're wrong. I believe you're wrong, sir. It's Polis Massa. Sorry.
I wish I knew my droid designations better, because one of the questions was like, name the gold protocol droid. And I wanted to like, I mean, there's so many gold protocol droids that aren't C-3PO. I wish I could have come up with one. TC-14 was the closest thing I could think of, but she's Chrome. So that doesn't
silver.
count.
Yeah, Chrome silver. Yeah, no, dude. We should
However,
seriously.
For second place, my green screen's going off. I did get a nice 4-pack tumbler of stemless wine glasses that are all Star Wars. So drinking out of R2 tonight, which is way better. I don't know who Passion Pit is, but 2 tickets to that concert was the grand prize. So I'm very happy with second place.
Wow. Okay. Looks like you came out on the winning end, man.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. So I really think that if we're gonna come up with our quiz, we should like make it part of the show. Like as we come up with our stuff, we should like when we come up with our different rounds, we'll complete a round and we'll bring it to the show as like that'll be like our closing segment of each show, and run it by the audience and say, hey, is this fair? Is this too hard? Like, what do you? So, that'd be kind of cool to bring it to the Nerf Herder. It'll be a Nerf Herder Council approved quiz, because I mean we don't ever really phrase it this way, but we're all the Nerf Herder Council. That's why it's a council. We're all we're just the hosts of the show. So I think that'd be kind of cool. Make all the audio viewers and stuff like that like a part of the creation of our Star Wars quiz.
We could even run the quiz on the show if people want to hit us up and be contestants. We could just do the thing live.
We could do that. Look at Kale, the Quiz Herder Council. Yeah. Oh yeah, but So
it only takes one of us to win a trivia contest. Go us.
How many of you won solo? I know I've won 2 of them.
Well, if you're counting this one, it's 2. Yeah, 2.
Okay. So
the other one was a very awful first date. I just went to a brewery and they happened to have trivia night, and it happened to be Star Wars trivia. And I said the same thing. I was like, just sit down. I've got this. Don't worry about it.
Are you saying that to Mandy? Like, that's the dog barking? Do you have your door closed?
There is no door.
All right. Well, look. You need to buy a door. You
I know.
Get a door, man.
Can I find my microphone first? Like one thing at a time, bro.
Hey, get a door first. That way, at least if you're gonna have bad sound, it's not gonna have dogs barking and thumping and All right. So, okay. Look at Kale. I say we're all the Nerf Herder Council. Then he starts being an ass. I got to get to a meeting at 9 a.m. So can we please start talking Mandu and Grogu? Nice.
Yeah. Enjoy your winter there. It's nice and warm and sunny here.
Yes. So yes, we are going to do that right now, Kale. So, how many times have you seen Mandu and Grogu, as we call it on the show, AJ? How many times have you been able to see it?
Unfortunately, only once so far. I am trying to sneak out on Friday before we do our steam engine thing.
Okay, I am at 3. I'll just start it off. I don't know if you have like a plan for, going in
Nope.
nice order and characters and all that kind of stuff. I loved it when the first time that I saw it. We saw it that Thursday night, the opening night, pretty much. And first of all, the theater was great. Very comfortable chairs. That sound system was by far the best sound system I've ever heard in a movie theater. If you combine that thing with, if you make those seats D-box and put me in some 3D with that sound system, that would be the most incredible movie viewing experience ever. But I loved it when I first saw it. I was very, very lucky in that my wife fell asleep about 15 minutes into it. And the reason that's lucky is because she loves Star Wars and she loves Mando and Grogu and she loves the Mandalorian show, which means I knew I was going to get to see it at least one more time because she'd be like, I want to go see it. So I did that. And then as I mentioned on the show previously, I went to Michigan Friday and I did see it in D-Box 3D there, which was awesome. And I got to tell you, man, it got better each time I saw it. So I am here tonight to lace up the gloves and fight anybody that's got a bad opinion of this movie, especially all these jerk off people looking for clicks online who are talking crap about it. And I'm in full defense mode on this movie. I love it. I absolutely love it. What did you think? I mean, seeing it only once, what'd you think?
Same thing. There's an old phrase that I love. It's comparison is the thief of joy. And I think what people's problem is they walked into this movie and immediately held it up to A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, whatever. And like, well, it's just like a glorified TV show. Like, yeah, it's the best Mandalorian and Grogu has ever looked. So yeah. It's a step up from what we've seen these characters do. What's the problem? There's a lot of explosions. There's a lot of callbacks. It's a fun movie from start to finish, and it looks great.
Yep.
There's nothing not to like. That's the thing. Like, everybody who's criticizing it doesn't have a legit criticism. They just have a comparison to something else. So instead of taking it on its own terms, they're busy shitting on it because it's not this other thing. Like, sorry, it's like walking into a pizza joint and being like, boy, your sushi sucks.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree with that, man. It's like you and I agreed when we walked out of the movie. We said it's basically like a small scale Star Wars movie or a large scale several episodes of the Mandalorian TV show, which I'm totally fine with. A lot of people are complaining. One of the main things that I see across all the negative reviews is, oh, well, it doesn't advance the lore. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't. It's like, yeah, so what? So what? I'm trying to think who it was that. Kale, if this was you, take credit, please. But I think it was.
Oh, he will.
So somebody said that this is basically like Temple of Doom for Star Wars, and I thought that was so appropriate because it's like, yeah, it's like, does it advance anything? No, but is it a kick-ass Indiana Jones story? Yeah. Is it a total blast to watch? Yeah. Like, you're there, you're along for the ride. But so I'm trying to remember who the hell said that, but yeah, so somebody made that comment to me and I was like, that is so unbelievably accurate. And I think that's what it is. And it's like, you know, after 7 years of not having Star Wars in theaters, to sit there and expect, you know, first of all, we knew this isn't going to be like one of the episodic movies. This is going to be like Rogue One, which we didn't know Rogue One was going to lead to Andor and all these other things that are, you know, springing off it. It's just, hey, here's how they got the Death Star plans. It ends where Episode 4 starts. Full stop. You know, Solo. Here's how he became Han Solo. Okay, cool. Like, that's what this is. We knew that. And even if you didn't know that, we weren't promised that this was going to be the start of some big thing. You know, I think we had all given up. I mean, dude, hadn't we all given up hope a long time ago when this was supposedly, like, you had mentioned it on our last episode, this was supposed to be like the culmination of everything into this, you know, or at least this, you know, some huge Filoni-verse thing or something. Like, it was, something was rumored about that. Like, no. It's a freaking Star Wars movie, dude, and it's a damn good Star Wars movie, and it's a damn fun Star Wars movie, and it has a ton of heart, and it's I loved it, and it's fun. It's like you get to see Star Wars in the theater again. I went with an 8-year-old girl, my buddy's daughter. That's why I went to Michigan. She'd never seen a Star Wars movie, but she loved Grogu. She'd never seen a movie in 3D before, never been to D-Box. Dude, you want to know what it's like. You want to know what it's, you want to remember why you love Star Wars, go do something like that. She was sitting next to me right at the start of the movie, and I hear, whoa. And then she's looking down at her chair, and she's like, oh, Dad, look at that. Like, just all the graphics and the 3D, and like everything was just blowing her mind. And it's like, yeah, that's what Star Wars is. And it wasn't just the effects. It was, there's an AT-AT blowing up, and there's like things flying around and laser blasts. And she, afterwards, she said she had like the best time. And it's like, that's what Star Wars is for.
I was thinking about something about the movie that if I wanted to like think about it too hard, then it could be framed as a problem, but I'll call it a triumph. We watched a movie of a character who keeps his helmet on, so you don't see his face for like all but like 5 minutes of the movie, something like that.
Yeah.
And his buddies are a little puppet and a big CGI slug, and then a purple CGI co-pilot.
Yeah.
So there's like almost no humans like on screen in this movie unless Sigourney Weaver is doing her thing.
Yep.
You know how hard it is to actually feel anything when there's so little that's, like familiar that we can relate to. And yet you can't help but it had all the feels. It had everything we wanted. Like the relationship between Mandalorian and Grogu was perfect in this. I loved it.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, for people to say that like this movie doesn't mean anything, it's like too small a story. I'm like, that's the point. It's called The Mandalorian and Grogu. And you know who's on the screen all the time? The Mandalorian and Grogu. That's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't sell you a false bill of goods. It was like, hey, you want to see a movie about the Mandalorian and Grogu? Here you go. Okay. I got exactly what I expected walking into the theater, and that is more than enough for me to be happy. And what I did see, like I said, looked better than the TV show ever did because they had 3 years to make it and the movie's worth the budget to do it on. Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
Yep. I completely agree. Yeah, the relationship between the two of them, and we'll get to this a little bit later, but like there's a segment of the movie that is already one of my all-time favorite segments in Star Wars, and it relates to their relationship, and I just think that's awesome that after all these years, we're coming in, next year's the 50th anniversary of Star Wars, and it's still producing moments like that for me. Like, how does it get any better than that? It's like you said, it didn't disappoint. It didn't disappoint at all. It was such a blast. And I hate to use this word because it sounds kind of cheesy, but it is a word that keeps coming to mind for me with this movie. And it was charming. It like really was. There was a lot of heart to it, a lot of charm to it. But there's a lot of great action and stuff like that. And it was just a fun movie. I like you said, I'm with you. I got everything I wanted out of it.
Do you think one of the problems with the reception is the fact that these characters started on streaming on a TV show? So there's a lot of The Mandalorian that is like different from Star Wars, right? Like you got Ludwig Göransson's soundtrack first off, which is a total departure from anything John Williams based. You've got a time period that the movies didn't cover. You've got a character who's basically helmeted the whole time and a little puppet. So there's not a whole lot to latch onto in a traditional Star Wars sense. And do you feel like maybe they got a little bit of a pass on Disney Plus because it was a separate platform, the same way like cartoons can get away with stuff that live action can't? And then when you bring those characters onto the big screen, now fans are expecting like a traditional Star Wars experience. Might that be part of the problem here?
I mean, I guess. Several of the negative reviews that I read basically said like, well, there's no stakes. There's not like a whole star system going to be blown up. There's not like, a sneeze coming.
Yeah. And even though Solo didn't connect to anything else, it still had like lore on its side. Like it didn't lead to anything that we didn't already know about, but it at least like was able to pull from existing lore for the character and be like, there, we're going to connect this dot. We're going to connect this dot. Where it happens next with this. And so like it had connective tissue, whereas this is the first time we've had a movie that was truly just, here's some new characters and you don't know where the story is going to go next.
Yeah. I don't see what's wrong with that. I mean, I really don't. I mean, because you know why? This is the issue that I have with people saying, "Oh, it doesn't lead anywhere. It doesn't expand anything." Okay, but we don't know that yet. You know, not everything has to tie in to this huge overarching narrative, you know, immediately. You know, look what happened with Marvel. The Infinity Saga was untouchably great. But then after that was over, it was like, okay, then the movies went into the shitter. And now look what they're doing. Oh, Captain America's back.
You're right.
The Avengers are back and it's Robert Downey Jr. Like, yeah, because it's like, okay, well, you've achieved the goal. Now what are you going to do? It's you know, it's like,
and what people forget about all the retcons that happened in the Marvel universe as well. Like the Tesseract in Avengers was just the Tesseract.
Yeah.
Then they got this idea of like, oh, what if there was an Infinity Stone in there? What if we could like weave this grand narrative? So like Rod of the Hutt, Stinky from the Clone Wars movie, comes back in this movie of all things. Like no one ever even thought of him again as a character.
Yeah.
And one, he didn't suck. And then two, people are like, they made a real big point about how like Hutts live a very long time.
Yeah.
Just like Grogu does. So there's all this speculation, like maybe those two go off and on buddy adventures because, you know, Mandalorian's going to get old and die someday, and then they're still going to be like in the prime of their lives.
Yeah.
So who knows? Rada might turn out to be like, there might be things in this movie, is my point, that do pay off. We just don't know it yet.
100%. And that's exactly what I was shooting at, is that, you know, we don't know where this is landing yet. Like this could be the launching point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, like, you know, in 1977, a New Hope wasn't a New Hope. It was just Star Wars. They blew up the Death Star. Darth Vader, spins off into space, and you're like, okay, end credits. I mean, that's what it was. It was just a great, fun space adventure, and off you go. Like that's what this one is. Like we don't know what they're going to do with it. And I think there's a ton to build on. By the way, John Phillips says, it's more fun than season 3. Man, I will say it again. I do not understand why people are so down in season 3 of Mando.
Watch it again.
I just did. I think it's great.
So did I.
Oh, well. In any case, yeah, I mean, we don't know where the hell it's going to go, especially considering the fact that, you know, you made an excellent point about Rod of the Hutt. You know, that is a great character, you know. I mean, and that's something that was awesome about the movie. We got a good Hutt. All we've ever known about Hutts for almost 50 years of Star Wars is Hutts are gangsters, they're crime lords. That's it. So we've been led to believe that every single Hutt is a piece of trash, you know. But no, come to find out, nope. I mean, weren't you expecting when Rada first comes on the screen, and Grogu goes busting into the cage, like, okay, is he going to try and smash him? Like, is there going to be a fight now? Like, is he actually not a good guy like he portends to be? Like, you know, it's a great character.
I thought they would be copying and pasting from the Hulk Thor fight from Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. I mean, they could. And, you know, then they make that relationship between Grogu and Rada, which, yeah, Keato, yeah. John Keato says, I thought he was going to eat him. Yeah. I mean, you didn't think he was just going to be like feeding them and then be like, all right, get going. You know, like,
yeah, you're always like waiting for him to like turn.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool. And the character was great. It was portrayed very well. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? You know, and then at the end, like, they're talking about him joining the New Republic, basically. Like, that's awesome. So, you know, I
like Kale's point, said that he's going to be the first clothed Hutt in Star Wars.
Oh yeah, right.
So we should have like a wrong answers only kind of show. I would love to do like a whole movie where we talk about like the most nonsensical stuff. Like, oh, I was right on board until Zeb said he had a uniform that might fit Rada. Like, come on, like he's gonna have one.
Yeah, it'd be great. He just goes in the ship. Nope, I don't. Never mind. Sorry.
No, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, he's too big.
You have to ride in the back.
Yeah. Yeah,
I did
mean,
like that too, though. That's one of those things you never really think about. Like, yeah, not everybody. Like, why would Rada know how to pilot a starship?
Yeah.
Like, he has no need, no reason to have ever learned that skill. And also, yeah, he's too damn heavy. He got a cargo net to some bitch. Like, okay,
yeah,
I'm good with all of that.
At least that was cool. Like when he was like, "Yeah, I've never flown. Have you?" At least I didn't make it like, "Oh, he could do anything." You know, that was kind of cool. Oh, and by the way, I also can't fit in the cockpit. Like, sorry. It's Zamian, good to see you, man. He says, "I wonder what a hut could do in the New Republic." Well, again, we don't know where this could go. I mean, is he going to like kind of like help to form like a fragile alliance with the Hutts between them and the New Republic? Like, you know, yeah. Kale, great to see you, man. He says, "All right, heading off for my meeting. All I have left to say is big pipe, eh?" Dude, the Anzellans were so great.
Mm-hmm.
They were so great.
Did you know it's the actress who played Moaning Myrtle who does the voices for all of them?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, weird little connection there. She was Babu Frick, and she's all the Anzellans in this one too. None of whom are Babu Frick, by the way.
Yes, they are Fricks, but
oh. Sorry, no door means the cat can also get in.
The whole family's getting involved on your end,
right?
No, I did not know that, but yeah, dude, the Anzellans were great. That was just awesome. As I've even seen some people complain online that the puppeteering doesn't look good. I'm like, dude, come on, like. You complain when there's CG. Now they give you a practical effect, and you're going, "Well, that is good either." Like, stop.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's janky on purpose because people like that.
Yeah, and it looks good. And what is it per Anzellan? Isn't there like 4 people for each one? Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Like there's so much going on. That Adam is it Adam Rich? Is that his name? The MythBuster guy.
Adam Savage.
Adam Savage, sorry. So yeah, Adam Savage has a bunch of videos on YouTube if you guys want to check it out. And he got to go behind the scenes on the sets and stuff like that of Mandu and Grogu. And there's there's another one that's kind of it popped up while I was watching that, but there's this it might have been like E Online or one of those things anyway, and they were showing the puppeteering of the Anzellans. And it was like, whoa, man, that is way more involved than you would think it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, by the way, Kale has a question for us. Kale says, "Oh yeah, was Martin Scorsese the same thing as Old Mate from the Jedi games?" Yes, Martin Scorsese was the food truck operator. That is an Ardinian. That is actually the alien that Jon Favreau voiced in Solo. So, and Kale said the only thing he remembers from Solo is the hell was the thing? He only remembered one thing from Solo. So, Kale, you got to go watch Solo again. That movie is awesome. There's another Star Wars hill I'll die on.
Mm-hmm.
But so what did you think character-wise in this movie? Because I thought they introduced some awesome new characters. I loved it. I thought it was really interesting. And
well, to quote Austin Powers, I do have some thoughts.
No,
I have good and bad. So on the good side, Rada turned out way better than anyone I think was ever expecting.
Yes.
Like he was clearly fully CGI, and boy, have we come a long way since the special editions, right?
Did you think that, as long as you're there, sorry to cut you off, but before I forget my question, did you think he was going to be such a huge part of the plot? I thought really, it was just going to be this, you got Swola the Hutt over there, and like be in the movie for a couple minutes and out. Like, I never thought it'd be like a main character.
Yeah, I thought it was the usual Star Wars trickery with marketing, where if you see it in the trailer, that means it's barely there in the movie.
Yes. Chess says, my smart aleck brain says Rada can get on the ship because it's in space. There's no gravity in space. Hey, we don't use actual science in Star Wars, man.
Right.
Very rarely do we do that. So,
but yeah, Rada was cool. Do we count Zeb as a new character for all the average fans who don't otherwise know the guy?
Wow, that's a very good question.
Well, John Chiato actually chiming in. Zeb could have been either better developed or more like Rebels Zeb. He felt like a replacement for Cara Dune. Ooh, hot take there. What do you think?
Yeah, he definitely had the edge taken off of him. Like he was always like a very aggressive kind of like I thought he'd make an awesome tag team with Rika. With Wrecker.
Well, he's the heavy of the group. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought those two would always like make an awesome pairing, but yeah, it was kind of weird. It was definitely not the Zeb we got from Rebels. But I think, and I will say maybe a little underutilized. Hopefully we get more Zeb because he's a good character. And I think
that was my vibe. Was like they were deliberately holding back so he wouldn't. I mean, it's called Mandalorian and Grogu, not Mandalorian and Grogu and Zeb.
Yeah.
And I think that's all it's down to is they just wanted to make sure that he wasn't. They were clearly focusing on Rada as like the third new, character to add to that.
Yeah.
So if it's Zeb too, then okay, well now we got some heavy lifting to do story wise.
Yeah, I just think, and you and I have been very vocal about the fact that we are not big Rebels fans, but I would say that the one highlight of that show definitely was Zeb, the character. So I hope this isn't just like, hey, we'll throw the fans a bone. Here's some live action Zeb, since we've got live action Ezra and Thrawn and all this other crap. Like here's a few minutes of Zeb. One kick ass action scene and out. There you go. No, stop bothering us about Zeb.
Right.
You got Hera in there. You got Sabine. Like, so.
After his cameo in season 3, I was surprised to see him like legitimately paired up with Mando now.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. Like I didn't expect those two to be, partners basically.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
It was looked great to me.
It's also handy because it does explain then, when the rest of the Rebels crew is showing up in the Ahsoka show, where's Zeb? Well, now you know.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Yeah, that was awesome.
In terms of other characters, I don't know why Sigourney Weaver was in the movie. She did nothing.
I mean, she blew an X-wing at the end.
She sounded bored, didn't she?
In a way.
I was like, wow, there's relaxed, and then there's IDGAF.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to phrase it this way because I don't read into things like that very much. I'm just like, oh, cool, it's awesome. Now we got Sigourney Weaver in a Star Wars movie. It's kind of like she was there to like turn the page. Like Mando's done with this mission. Turn the page, chapter 4.
Right.
Here comes the next adventure. So yeah. Joseph Friend, great to see you, bro.
Oh yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Joseph Friend says, I thought bored was part of her acting style. Are you the keymaster? Who cares? Nice.
Right.
I'll be ripping on Ghostbusters, man. What a sacrilege, man. Yeah, maybe understated, I would say maybe is kind of her thing, but I like, yeah. I mean, I could see what you're saying. The
unfortunate
really
comparison is she had to step, she wouldn't have been there if Carl Weathers hadn't passed. So Unfortunately she is the Grief Karga stand-in this movie.
Yes.
And sorry, Sigourney, love you in a lot of stuff, but not in this one compared to Carl Weathers.
Well, I mean, now that's an interesting question. Do you think that we really would have gotten a lot of Grief Karga? There wasn't a ton on Navarro, and Grief Karga was running Navarro. He wasn't off, screwing around with the New Republic.
I feel like if they could have had Carl Weathers in the movie, they would have written the story in such a way that he got to show up.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
The Cara Dune mentioned earlier was interesting though, speaking of characters, because I thought that after they'd officially buried the hatchet, I thought we might have seen her back in this movie, because they did say that they were, open to projects in the future. And I was like, well, here's a future project she would fit right into.
Well, I see the problem.
Hell, if anyone was going to partner up with Mando for the New Republic, Cara Dune would have been a perfect character instead of Zeb.
Yeah. I just here's the thing with that. I think there's still such a significant segment of the Star Wars fan base that is pissed at Gina Carano, and this is the first Star Wars movie in 7 years to hit the big screen, I think they really didn't want to, you know, one of my favorite phrases of all time, I really think they didn't want to piss into the wind and be like, you know, risk keeping fans away because, you know, Cara Dune's in the movie. Well, I'm not going because I'm still pissed at Gina Carano. So I think they were trying to keep anything like that could be even a little bit construed as, you know, divisive. I think they were trying to keep that sort of thing out. So
I'm just pissed that she tapped out in 30 seconds.
30, it was 17.
Well, I was giving her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
Yeah. So no, I think character wise, man, I thought they did a great job. I loved seeing more Hutts. And I'm glad we finally got, you know, a Hutt voice that sounds like Jabba's, because I mean, you talked about the CGI stuff, you know, a little bit ago. My thing has always been like, how can you not get the voice right? Like, you can do anything with sound. I understand, like, visually, if you can't nail it, if you can't replicate like a giant rubber puppet and get the lighting correct and all that kind of stuff, like, but the voice, like, you can do anything sonically at this point. How have they not been able to get that damn voice right? Like, that's just unbelievable to me. And they finally did. So
yeah,
that was cool. We got a Hutt fight. And did you notice like the arm drag?
I had never even thought about like, how does a Hutt fight until I saw the scene. I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. I was like, I mean, people are like, oh, we didn't get anything new. And I'm like, bullshit, man. When they started rumbling at the end, I was like, oh, Hutt fight. I was like, this is awesome, man. Like, this is so great. Like, I mean, what the hell, man? Like,
yeah,
I just thought that was phenomenal.
I do think it's fair to say that this movie was a little bit light on story. Like, it felt like there was a lot of action scenes. Like, if this was really going to be season 4 of The Mandalorian, then they probably were like, okay, how do we condense this down? Well, you know, all that pesky plot nonsense. Can we just get to the next action scene?
That wouldn't surprise me.
I wasn't upset though, because I mean, what would you call it? Like the teaser or the cold open? Literally cold open as a snowy planet.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Loved it.
Well, and that's the thing, dude. Like, I mean, yeah, if you want to say, okay, it feels more like a video game where you're going from mission to mission or something like that. Okay. But I you know, like you had alluded to early in the show, like people they're making comparisons to things that came before instead of just enjoying themselves. It's like, I mean, and honestly, let's be honest, you and I have complained about that, about other movies in the Star Wars canon in the past. You know, I mean, we've said that. And people tend to do that. It's like, just go into it with an open mind. I mean, it's Star Wars. What has this fandom become? There's just too many people it's almost like they're looking for something to shit on. You know, and it's like, yeah, like like I was saying, like, does it play out like a video game? Yeah. I mean, you said it's light on plot, okay. But it's a damn fun movie. And what plot are you trying to get to? Like,
it's a popcorn flick.
Yeah. And that's what Star Wars is, you know, it started out as. Really, it's what it's always been. Star Wars is escapism. You know, Star Wars is there just to like get away from things, not to get all down and, you know, anyway, to be all serious. I don't know. I feel like I'm being too negative about that.
It's hard to write this stuff because, like you said, there's 50 years behind this franchise. And, you know, one of the complaints that people have is that there's so much lore at this point. It feels like homework to be caught up on everything. So then a movie like this comes along that is deliberately an entry point where you can watch it with no background, having never even seen the show, and still follow the plot just fine and get into the characters just fine. And they're like, well, it doesn't connect to anything. It's really light on story and characterization and stuff. Like, which way do you want it? Do you want it to be so steeped and connected that you can't follow it if you don't have, you know, 200 hours of Star Wars behind you? Or do you want to walk into the movie theater blind and go have a good time?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like, you know, those same people probably complained about the whole Luke Skywalker thing in The Last Jedi. Okay, you got your lore. you got expanding the lore, and you just absolutely shit all over it. That's not what Luke Skywalker would do. Well, what the hell do you want, man? Like, it's like we said so many times, and I'd really like to get off the negativity because I really don't want to be that guy. But it's like we said so many times, like if you're going into the movies watching for stuff like that, you're watching Star Wars for the wrong damn reasons. You really are. Like, I mean, it's just it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, I mean, like I said, like you and I were like, I mean, seriously, oh my God, we get to see Star Wars on the big screen. But then it seems like there's so many other people that went in like ticking a list. Well, I hope I get this. I better get this. I hope they show this. They need to show this. Did it? Like, just watch the movie. Like, what? Why? Like, what are you worried about?
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I do have a question for you, though. You know, we did a show before called "Are We Living in the Filoniverse?" Do you think this is the most Filoniverse project we've gotten yet?
No. Ahsoka by far, by a mile.
Rebels season 5. Yep.
Yes, and I mean it's like, God, I hate to say this. This is literally just me thinking, and you know me. Like when I talk about this, when I react to things, I react very viscerally. It's like my first impression is this, and most times that's what sticks with me. Ahsoka is the worst looking live action show.
Yes.
Like some of the like the fight scenes on the cliff and stuff like that felt like they're fighting within like a 20-foot radius, which yes, they are, but it didn't feel like there's this giant world out there around them. So you know, with the whole Thrawn and Ezra and Hera and all this stuff, I felt like that was Dave Filoni's, like, that's the show where he's really in his sandbox. Like, I'm doing all of this like that. So I don't think this is. I would definitely go with Ahsoka. I mean, and it's going to take something pretty Filoni-ish to get the hell to knock Ahsoka out of first place for me. So, do you think that this movie is the most Filoniverse thing we got?
Well, the reason I ask is because there's so much stuff in here that is tied specifically to Dave Filoni-led things. Like even the AT-ATs in the opening scene were Rebels era AT-ATs. Did you notice that?
Yep.
So we got that. We got the AT-RT that Mandalorian is riding underneath them. Again, Clone Wars callback. Now we've got Rod of the Hutt, Clone Wars, Zeb, Rebels, like anything. Embo's amazing. Love that guy. Holy crap, did they do him right? Yep. We got sidetracked off the character talk, but yeah, Embo was amazing. I love the way they did that. The fact that he didn't even speak was fantastic.
Yep. Does he talk in the cartoon?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in like alien language.
Okay. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because someone asked me this and I have zero problem with it. They asked me, how did I feel about Rada and the Anzellans speaking basic rather than doing like Huddies and whatever, you know, Anzellanese or, you know, whatever, and doing subtitles. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't care. It's like I kind of
feel like you had to for Rada. Rada had way too many lines. People don't want to be reading a movie; they want to be seeing a movie. Yeah,
and I figure, especially with him, like he's been out off of Nahada for how long? Like, and it's like he's going to learn other languages. It's kind of like if you move to Spain, you're not just gonna keep speaking only English. You're going to speak Spanish. So that made sense to me. The Anzellans, I just thought it was a cute thing because they're there for kind of like the cuteness factor a little bit, and it's not as funny if you don't hear them in their voice, like nice shot, baby.
Right, and they kind of speak a little mishmash. Even in episode 9, Babu Frick was a lot of gibberish, but Joy might go blank, blank, blank. Like there are still some words you can pick out in there. So yeah, it's a little bit more than it was before, but I still think they sounded like themselves. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. Look at that, Joseph Friend. He says, speaking basic doesn't bother me, but I'm blind. So not having to read subtitles doesn't take me out of anything. Right. By the way, Joe, you said you had a whole bunch of questions coming out of this movie. So what questions did you have? Putting a bow on the character. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say putting a bow on the character thing. I thought they did a great job of kind of balancing those characters that you know from the show or shows and introducing some new ones that, you know, they can kind of go places with. So I thought they did a great job. I think in many ways, and this is one of my overarching thoughts about the movie, I think this is very much a gateway Star Wars movie. It's like if there's a gateway drug Star Wars movie, this could definitely be described as that. Because like you said, you don't have to know the lore. You can go in there and, you know, even if you only know Mandu and Grogu from the show or pop culture, like you can get into it.
Yeah, even if you don't. Jon Favreau was doing, you know, the press junket, the media tour, and he was saying that. He's like, yeah, the show came out in 2019, and if you didn't get on board then, it's 7 years later from that now, and that means that there's a whole generation of kids that, you know, that target like 10 to 12-year-old age range that might not have seen the show when it came out and it just kind of like missed them entirely. So it's like a reintroduction to these characters. Yeah. And that's fine. Like, I don't feel like I wasn't bored by like the explanations of who these characters are and what they can do, but I feel like it was enough background that at least people who came in blind would be able to follow what's going on.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. I completely agree. And I just thought that it, you know, for someone who's never, like, they're familiar with Star Wars, but they've never seen it, you know, any adjective you want to use about Star Wars, it hit on all those beats.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you got the action, you got the heart, you got the humor. You know, there's aliens. I mean, dude, even to the point where, you know, even some of the callbacks, like they balanced it nicely between stuff for like super nerds like me and you, and then the average fan. Like, and I'm an idiot for not recognizing this right away. So this is probably going to be stupid for the people that are much smarter than me, like you know, Keato and those guys. But when he's like, "Oh, it's a Dejaric match," I'm like, "Why do I know that word?" I couldn't place it until
I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Hollow Chess game from episode 4. And the aliens in the pit are the aliens on the Hollow Chess board.
And they fight like they did on the Hollow Chess board.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, the reason I found that out is because I was reading a review where the guy brought that up and he was crapping on that. Oh, it's so tired. I'm like, dude, fuck you. Seriously? What a fun callback. Like that, when I read that, I was like, how can you not be into that? If I would have recognized it at the time when I was in the theater, I'd be like, dude, that is awesome.
Right. Again, it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. People are like, oh, yeah, it's so tired and played out. But at the same time, if you're, you know, well adjusted, you're like, holy crap, I recognize that. That's a lot of fun.
And how great was it? Like, how original was it that they got, you know, they managed to get the monsters loose because they made one of them a little thing that is like soup, like just exudes electricity.
Right.
So they had one of the other monsters chuck it into the electric fence, and it just shorted out the fence, and they're all like, "Oh, we're leaving." Like, that was so cool, man. It's such a small thing, but it's like that's the kind of creative stuff that I love that Star Wars does, and I think this movie had a lot of that, which was awesome.
This thing, like the Dejaric fight to me felt a lot like the final battle in Book of Boba Fett, but done right. Like people griped about that because they're like, they're just playing with their toys in the sandbox. And there's no reason they should have gotten the ship instead of the Rancor and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, the Dejaric fight is just that. It's like, hey, here's a callback. Let's have a fun action scene. Okay. Works for me.
Yep.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. John,
what did you think about the whole like reveal or the switch about Coin actually being who they were looking for the whole time?
Well, I'll get to that. I want to answer a quick question here.
Okay.
Or actually, it's not a question, but John Phillips says, I liked how the arena floor was the chess table layout. Yeah, John, that's what we actually exactly what we were just talking about. That basically they took the hollow chess match and put it in the arena. That's Dejaric. So that's what I was saying. Like, man, how did I not put 2 and 2 together? So yeah, that was part of that whole Dejaric thing. Yeah.
I mean, hell, let's call it lore. Let's say that's how the board game originated, was because these live action fights happened. And like, oh, let's do the at-home version. Let's make a game of that.
Yeah, and bet on it. Sports bet.
Right?
Dejaric by Bet365. Yeah. But yeah, so the whole coin thing and all that stuff, was it Coin was the name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do feel like it was like two halves of a movie that way. Like they apprehend him, and then this other stuff happens after the fact.
Yeah.
So it was a weird kind of pacing thing there. I feel like they could have smoothed that out. But yeah, to like go talk to the guy. It's like, you know, that Star Wars Family Guy joke with I forget the Family Guy character who plays Yoda, but he's like, "You're looking for Yoda. I'm not Yoda. Okay, I'm Yoda."
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm Yoda.
It's like,
Yeah.
that's what it kind of felt like. It's like, oh yeah, you're looking for this Imperial guy. Okay, I'm the Imperial guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, I honestly, like, I loved it. I thought it was really cool because
I was actually thinking of your classic quote from the show, like if like Mandalorian finds out that, you know, the guy he was just talking to is who he's looking for all along. He's like, "Oh, come on!"
right? That would be that moment,
just
dude.
there.
That would be that moment. Like, yeah, we haven't got that before. Like, wait a minute, that's the
Dank
guy.
Farrick. He should have said Dank Farrick.
I know. Steph was like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "It's basically like fuck in Star Wars." Like, yeah, no, I thought that was really, really good. I like that piece of writing. That was kind of cool. Like, we just got the guy. You know, we just got away from, you know, whatever. And cool, we're leaving. Like, no, that's the guy. Oop, let's turn around, turn the ship around.
Right.
Like, you know, like, yeah, I loved it. I thought that was a really cool swerve.
It was a bit of continuity too. If you really know your Mandalorian lore, he was in the Shadow Council in season 3.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and the guy in the start of the movie as well. So like, it does actually connect. They are paying attention to their own lore.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Never mind. I know. I thought you were talking about Clone Wars season 3. Sorry. Yeah.
No. Yeah, because there were accusations. They're like, this is just a standalone movie. Like, they just got a whole bunch of nobodies in there. Like, no, these are actually characters that were introduced in the show first.
Yeah.
You didn't have to know them at all. But if you did pay attention, it's one more thing. You're like, cool, they were trying. All right.
Yeah. Well, it's that whole continuity thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not like recasting. They're not just chucking everything new at you. It's like, yeah, let's tie things together. So,
okay, so that's the thing that I have to say to any of the cynics is like, if you want to say like, oh, this is just a cash grab. They did a low budget, whatever, just to make some money on this. Like, you can tell throughout this entire process, this movie was made by people who love it and care.
yes.
Like, they're connecting dots in their own lore. They're casting the same people in the same roles. They're making sure it all makes sense. So if you are paying attention and love it all, you will be rewarded for that.
Yes, I completely agree with that. And I think maybe we're a little biased there. I think it shines through. I didn't really watch a ton of the interview stuff, like the behind the scenes type of things, until after I'd seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I, you know, so that really gives you that feeling of, yeah, these like, you know, Favreau and all these different, you know, the writers and whatnot, like they really, really like have a passion for this. Like, but when you watch those interviews, you can really see it. And they even say like, yeah, we wanted to bring this back. Like, hey, check out this little Easter egg here and this, that, there, you know. Yeah.
Did you see all those interviews and tours they were doing of like the props and stuff, everything like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, dude, hell, they got Phil Tippett to do the stop motion.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing.
Like, everything about this is just fanboys doing right by Star Wars.
Yes, and dude, I just, that's why I don't understand like the negative reviews. I just, it feels like they were looking for something to, again, maybe it's clickbait. I don't know. I would hope not, but I mean, like to me, like the fun factor just showed up immediately. And again, also like there's a lot of heart to it. And like you said, you can tell that the people making this movie actually care.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, dude, they got Martin Scorsese to play a character, for God's sakes. You know, granted, it was like, you know, mocap, and well, I don't know if it was mocap, but he was like, he did the voiceover of, you know, but I mean, come on. It's got to be worth something if you get a guy like that to like not. It's not like just getting Daniel Craig to wear, you know, to wear a stormtrooper off and go, I'll drop my blaster. You know, like no, it's like this fully interactive, like actual, like moves the plot along type of character. Like that's, you know, if it was a piece of crap, Martin Scorsese wouldn't agree to jump in and do that. Like, so yeah, I completely agree with that. And honestly, that's a perfect segue to well, actually before I get to that, let's answer a question for John. John Phillips says, here's a question. How much time goes by between Rada leaving and Mando getting captured and brought to the huts? Not a lot, I don't think. Because he travels back and then he's like, yeah, I'm taking a break, and then he heads back to, you know, his homestead.
Yeah.
And he gets the Anzellans over, and then it looks to me like he's not even there like a day, unless the like time passed they don't show. But
man, time is always so slippery in Star Wars movies.
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah, this feels like it took place over the course of a couple of days, but then you figure like how long does it take for ships to travel between systems and so on and so forth. Like I don't feel like he was just chilling there for months at a time and then all of a sudden Embo shows up.
Yeah.
But some time had to pass for sure.
Yeah. No, but so yeah, back to the previous point. Like I said, you brought something up that's a really good segue for something I had mentioned earlier in the show. That being what is now one of my all-time favorite Star Wars segments. And I think it totally speaks to, it's really the core of the movie for me, is like, again, I'll say heart. There's charm to it. Like it's fun. Like, but I think it goes back to the heart of the thing. It's like, I'm talking about the segment where Grogu is taking care of Mando on Nal Hutta.
I knew that would get you.
Yeah, I do.
As I was watching it, I'm like, John's loving this. I was too gross myself to look over and find out, but yeah.
Yes, dude, that was so incredible. I mean, I just had so much fun with that, and it was just so touching, because all we've ever seen, really, like we've seen Grogu use the Force here and there and do things and, you know, help Mando out a little bit. But we've never seen him like be solely 100% in charge of what their fate is. And, you know, when Mando is laid out because he got poisoned by the dragon snake in that whole fight, which that's another thing I thought was really cool. You know, you see Grogu actually having to take on the role of caregiver. You know, which we hadn't seen before, and I just thought that was so great, because you know he'd made the, we've heard the comment, you know the old take care of the young and then the young take care of the old, and now we saw it, and you got that little bit of humor where he's like using the Force to slide him into the mud hut that he made, but it's a little too short, so his head goes clang, like, you know, it's like not long enough, so he's got to cover up his feet with, you know, some shrubbery. Yeah, that segment was just so unbelievably cool. And just seeing how, I don't know, it sounds so cheesy to say, well, seeing how much Grogu cares about Mando, like, we know that, but now is the first time we see him actually have to act and be like, okay, you're in charge now. Like, you are the one that, you know, if you screw up, you guys are dead. As opposed to it always being vice versa. And I love that.
Yeah, and he was shown to be capable, but not like leagues ahead of anything we've ever seen before.
Yes, very, very good point.
So yeah, he's got the Force and he can use it, and it doesn't tire him out like it used to. But you know, he's still just a little guy and nonverbal. So he's got to get by somehow. And yeah, I love that. Like he stole the fish, and the guy was like, "I know you stole the fish, but yeah, you're cool." Like it was a great sequence, and it was that was the one part of the movie where I'm like, wow, this feels different from the rest of the movie. The rest of the movie was like go, 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 all action.
Yeah.
And then it just like slows down in this moment. I was like, see, this is my favorite part.
Yeah.
I think they actually could have dialed back the action, and maybe it would have connected with audiences better, because nobody really has anything bad to say about that sequence. It's everybody's favorite.
Dial back the action. I don't know. See, I disagree. I don't mind it. But then again, I like so many flavors of Star Wars. Like, it's like, okay, if we have this movie that's like tons of action with one slow scene of, emotional growth of Grogu, however you want to look at it, like, or the emotional growth of their relationship, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But I also think, I think it's pretty well understood. If they've come out and said this, please correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think they've actually come out and said that this is a 4th season of Mando that they didn't get to make, so they're just going to scrunch it down into a movie. We're all pretty sure that that's what it is. And I think to your earlier point about pacing, I think that's very clear with Coin, because it's like they get him and then all of a sudden he's out, completely out of the movie till the end. Like, oh, he told us the truth. Okay, cool. Thanks.
We got everything.
Yeah. So I think
everything.
that, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think to your point, the pacing suffers there, but I think it is, again, because we know it's the 4th season condensed. So for that reason, I think they probably took, and rightfully so, probably had to take the high spots and chuck all the high spots in there. And it's,
I love you putting wrestling terms in.
Well, but I mean, it fits, it's appropriate. It's kind of like what, and at the end, it hits you the way it did, which, like, you're like, okay, maybe they could have had a little less action. I kind of liken it to George Lucas's description of Temple of Doom, like second Temple of Doom reference tonight. But, he said that he wanted Temple to be a little bit darker. And so he said when he went back and looked at the finished film, it was really, really, really dark, like darker than he wanted. But he's like, when you're in the process of making, you're like, well, let's put a dark part here. Okay, well, now let's put a dark part here. And you don't feel like it's going to come together like that. But all of a sudden at the end, you realize it did. And so, that's, I could see why, if they were like, oh, we got to get these high spots in there, and then we'll get like the dramatic scene with, like, they might have gotten to the end and gone, oh crap, this is pretty much like I said, a video game, like I said. So maybe that's why that happened that way. So
this is Amy and Charmin, and again, he says more dialed back scenes mean more classical Mandalorian theme in the music, in the soundtrack. We actually did listen to the soundtrack on our way home from the theater. It's an interesting soundtrack. Have you listened to it?
I have. I think it's one of the best soundtracks. I love it.
Did you notice anything about it? Like anything that stood out to you?
I mean, is it too obvious to say like the kind of like the, I don't know, like the digital, kind of like the club music almost, like the really modern, like digital stuff, like almost, to me, it was almost Tron-ish in a little bit in points.
Yeah, that for sure. The thing that we noticed is that it's the same song. It's just the Mandalorian theme over and over and over again. It's video games do this a lot too, where they'll take like one piece of music, one theme, and they'll just do it in a different style, a different key, a different tempo, but it's the same damn song. It is the Mandalorian theme done 12 different ways.
So you're saying that Ludwig Göransson actually isn't as good as we think he is? He's just really lazy and tries to cover it up?
No, I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it in the movie. That's what I'm saying. Like,
damn you, Ludwig.
But like, there's one that's like a, what would you even call it? Like an "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" kind of banjo jug band kind of rendition of the Mandalorian theme, and I think they used it probably with Martin Scorsese's character, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like 4.5 minutes on the soundtrack, and it's just like this swing kind of, like I said, jug band kind of interpretation with a banjo of the Mandalorian theme. It's like, okay, I guess so. They must have loved it too, because they gave it 4.5 minutes on the soundtrack. So, all right.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that now. Which of course the next time I'll be in the car for an extended period of time, I'll be with my wife, so I'm sure she's gonna be thrilled with that. Hey,
What, 4.5 minutes of banjo? I mean, come on.
No, because I'll be listening to the whole thing. Like wait, where's the, I want to hear that this is the Star like the Mando theme, like you said. So
Damn copyright stuff. I could play it right now, but of course we'd just get taken offline. So we can't do that.
Let's not do
But
that.
no, one of my all-time favorite video games does it too. I don't know if you've heard me talk about this, but Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight has one main theme, and then like every different area you go into, it sounds like different music, but it's actually the same melody, just transposed. It's incredible.
Right. John Phillips says he ordered the soundtrack CD from the UK. Speaking of soundtracks, if anybody listening has any way of getting me the Attack of the Clones soundtrack on vinyl, preferably sealed, let me know and hit me up. Because, yeah, I have reasons for that. And it's the only one I can't find because there was only, I think, 1,000 ever made. So, yeah. Little teaser for Star Wars Celebration. Guess what the JT scavenger hunt is going to be looking for this year or next year. Last time was all Biker Scout stuff, which I will do that this time. But yeah, this upcoming celebration, I'm looking to see if someone's got clones on vinyl. So I've decided that that's what I want to put on my wall next. Are the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. I want all the soundtracks on vinyl, preferably sealed.
Oh, very cool.
So we'll see.
That will be really cool. I'm not that much an audiophile to know if they sound that different on vinyl, but it's cool to have them.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not. It's not for listening. I have all of the Van Halen records. Well, I'm still missing a couple of the Dave records, but I've got those all framed up here. I've got all 3 of the Mammoth records framed, and so I'm like, I've got room for like 6 more. And I thought, that'd be kind of cool to get the prequels and the original trilogy on vinyl and put those as my 6. So yeah, but I looked. I could find 5 of the 6, but apparently Clones was like they released like 1,000 of them or something. That's it. And it was
that was definitely not. Yeah, vinyl was absolutely dead when that movie came out, so I totally get it.
Yeah.
Okay,
anyway.
So I want to get into a little bit more of the context of the movie before we wrap up.
Okay.
So the box office numbers for this movie are not good, but all the reviews, the audience scores, and everything are. So what do you think is going on here? What is the problem with this movie that it's not drawing in more people? Because everyone who goes to see it seems to enjoy it, despite all the online reviews.
Well, it was explained to me by my boss, who's a big Star Wars fan, he and his son. He wasn't aware that the movie was coming out until probably like a few weeks before it hit.
I've heard that too. Why do you think that is?
I have zero idea. Because people like you, but you and I live
feel
in
like
the world
it's been
of Star
everywhere.
Wars. I do too. That's exactly what I said. But then I have to realize, like, you and I and a lot of our friends, we live in a world of Star Wars. Like, we know everything. Like I mean, how many times do you get hit up by someone go, "Oh, dude, did you see this?" And you and I've known about it for like 3 months. You know what I mean? Like,
right, yeah.
Like we know pretty much the second it comes out. And when I started thinking about it, I think that it might be, and maybe this is oversimplifying, but I wonder if the title of the movie isn't what kind of caused that. Because people know The Mandalorian as a television show. So when you see something that says Mandalorian and Grogu, you're like, oh yeah, that TV show. There's nothing that really says, hey, this is a movie. It's like if you know that it's a movie, you know it's a movie. But
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard there was confusion. People thought it was a new season of television.
Yeah, I could see that. So I'm wondering, like, if it's as simple as that. Like, have they named it like, the Great AT-AT Heist or something like that? Star Wars, the Great AT-AT Heist. People are like, what is that? Star Wars. And then you go, oh, it's Mandalorian and Grogu is the main character. It's cool. Like, I'm really wondering if just the titling of the movie didn't make people go, oh, it's just TV.
Dude, that'd be really interesting if that was the case. Like, I'm nerd enough. My background is in marketing. I got my first job out of college at a marketing company working in their marketing department. And if they swung and missed so badly on the movie title that it confused people into thinking it was a TV show, that's hilarious. Like, all the money they spend on making sure that they can absolutely milk us for every dollar that we've got.
Yes.
And they screw up that badly and they get it that wrong. Like, wow, dude. I wonder if that's it. Yeah, because a lot of people, as soon as you say like, oh, there's a new Star Wars movie. What? Yeah, it's The Mandalorian and Grogu. Well, yeah, those are characters on a TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a movie title. Oh,
yep.
Sorry.
Well, and the only reason I think that it makes sense is because I talked to a number of people who I know really follow Star Wars. I mean, again, not like us and a bunch of our friends, but people that like, oh, I watch Star Wars all the time. You can ask them trivia questions. They'll know half of it. And they told me, I think I told the story on our previous episode about, Elliot, the 13-year-old daughter of the former singer of the band I'm in. Mm-hmm. And she's just an enormous Star Wars person. When I said, are you excited for the new Star Wars movie? She goes, there's a new Star Wars movie coming out? Like, well, and there were a number of people that are pretty
exactly the demographic they're trying to reach too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just really wonder, like, if that was the case. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, they didn't really do anything to separate it from the show. So.
What if they'd called it Din and Baby Yoda, a Jaren adventure?
Oh, God. Seriously?
Just spitballing. I don't know.
That's what we're going to do?
I mean, let's just riff on it. Let's see. If it wasn't called Mandalorian and Grogu, what should it have been called? I mean, in all seriousness, that's a good question. What alternate movie title you think might have actually hooked people better? Star Wars movies are in general pretty good about having like hooky, like compelling titles. I don't know if Mandalorian and Grogu was the most compelling thing they could have called this.
That's a good question. I'm terrible at thinking about this stuff on the fly, but I feel like there's a Hut pun in there somewhere,
Right. Yeah.
It's like too obvious. But yeah, I don't know. But I honestly, this is going to sound like a cop out, but I mean this. I really think, honestly, anything but The Mandalorian and Grogu would have been better. It's because, I mean, dude, I got to be honest. Like, when they first said, hey, there's going to be a Mandalorian and Grogu movie, it's called Mandalorian and Grogu, my immediate thought was, that's a placeholder. There's no way they're just going to call it The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah.
And then they stuck with it. I was like, what kind of lazy shit is that? Like, like what's the, episode 10 going to be called? Ray, Poe, and Finn? Like we're just gonna name the characters and that's the title. Like, what the hell is that about?
Yeah, like even Star Trek knew better. I hate to invoke Trek on the show, but if it's a movie, it's not called Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's called Star Trek Generations or Star Trek First Contact or something that doesn't say the name of the show or the characters that are in it. It's not like, oh, there's a new Star Trek movie coming out. What's it called? Worf.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like, I mean, they could have put something about like the New Republic in there. Because having the word new would be good. Yeah,
you could say like, I don't know, Remnant Rising or Shadow Rising, something because the whole hook in the trailers was like, we're trying to prevent another war. Okay, well, there's clearly something big going on then. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so maybe the movie title itself was one of the problems. But yeah, that's the thing. I don't understand why. I don't know. I think a lot of people just, movies aren't what they once were in a lot of cases. It's really hard to get like a blockbuster movie anymore. I mean, this one is already, it's got IMAX showings, but they actually cut the IMAX run short because, well, they don't officially say it, but basically low box office. So He-Man jumped into it. I'm sorry, Masters of the Universe jumped into it. But that's already getting panned as well. So like all these blockbuster franchises that are supposed to be, raking in all the cash, they're not. It's really hard to have a Top Gun Maverick kind of situation,
Yeah. It's I don't
He-Man
understand.
wasn't even going to come out in IMAX because all the slots were booked by Star Wars. And then since basically IMAX was like, hey, Star Wars, get out. You're not bringing enough butts and seats. So we're going to fill it with something else. So just this week, Masters of the Universe comes out and they're like, oh, by the way, it's an IMAX. Like that's like a 3 or 4 month lead time that they advertise. Go see it in IMAX.
Yeah. And
yet the thing that they replaced Star Wars with is apparently not going to put butts in seats either unless something really surprising happens. Movies are just weird right now. Maybe people just need to adjust their expectations about what actually is a successful film at this point. What do you think?
That's going to be difficult because the two films ahead of Star Wars this past weekend were made on like $1.5 million budgets or something, and they were made by YouTube content creators. And they're like, oh my God, they're going to make like $150 million, $100 million. Like, yeah, because people live on the goddamn computer. So they're like, oh, that guy that I watched his YouTube video made a movie. I'm going to go see it. Like, okay. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Star Wars has to ramp up their YouTube presence, like really blow up the social media. Maybe that's just what it is, God,
I hope not.
I mean, still make the same content, like movie wise and show wise, but just change it up and just go on YouTube, put a shitload of YouTube stuff out, just flood it. I don't know. Yeah, but then again, you know what? And I hate to say this, man, because maybe it's kind of a downer comment, but I mean, let's face it. It is a 50-year-old. I've actually wondered this for years now. Like, this is a 50-year-old property at this point. When we were kids, let's say when, you were 12 and I was 15. So we're talking like 1991, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were there any kids that you knew who were watching the Marx Brothers like we were? No. Like when you say,
I can't even name anything from like 50 years prior.
Yeah.
Marx Brothers was like 60 or 70 years prior.
Well, I mean, and we're talking 1991. Yeah. I mean, it was like 60 years. But who all was watching that? Like stuff has long since died out. The fact that Star Wars is still around and putting out new shows and everything is just like unbelievable. So maybe I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's a good point. Cause like, I know you don't like Andor, for example, but the one thing you can say about Andor is it's very unlike other Star Wars. And I think that's why it's getting rave reviews, because it's something different for a 50-year-old franchise.
Yeah.
45 plus when it came out, whatever. But yeah, it's an evolution, and it needs to be. Like, you can't just keep putting out A New Hope over and over again and have it not be a nostalgia act,
Yeah. I mean, Joseph Friend, good point. He says Three Stooges, maybe. Like, knowing him, he might be joking, but that's actually not a bad idea. He also says it's frustrating because if true, this quote unquote almost exactly what I wanted Star Wars movie won't lead to more movies. I think it will, but that's just because I will never let go of the idea that they're not going to pull episodes 10, 11, 12 out of their ass. But Zamian says
I wonder where this leaves the franchise. Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing: like they spent like half of what they spent on Solo, so it's not like Solo where they said they took a bath because it made like $350 million, but they spent $330 or whatever the hell the numbers were. But
when you only make the movie once, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, right. Zamian says, I think at least with the younger generation, we watch a lot more YouTube and stuff than regular TV. Yeah, that was. And Zamian, see, that's. Thank you for proving my point. Like you're the target audience for what I was talking about. Like put the ads and the news about stuff where people are going to watch it. Like people like us, AJ, like our age group, we're going to know there's a Star Wars movie out by seeing it on TV. Like, oh, this, we'll see a trailer. But kids, to Zamia's point, like if they're always online, they're not watching ABC and NBC and all that stuff like we are. Like they're online. So put as much stuff online as possible. So, John Phillips, boy, this is a slippery slope. He says maybe Disney should do something they haven't done since they bought it. Market it to boys. You know what? I have a comment, but I don't know if it's going to be misconstrued as something off color, so I don't know if I should say it. But
without getting into the morass of this, let's reframe the question. Who was this marketed to?
That's a good question.
I feel like that might be also part of the problem. Is it's one of those things like, the classic example of like the uniforms or the cockpits of a fighter jet. They averaged out all the measurements of a fighter pilot to arrive at a universally acceptable size and shape of a cockpit and a flight suit and everything. Yeah. And what that does is it guarantees that it fits nobody.
Yeah.
So when you try to appeal to everyone, you're not speaking to anyone in particular. You feel like that might be part of the problem? Is they're like, here's a general audiences. Everyone everyone has something to latch onto here, which means nobody has very much to latch onto.
Yeah. No, I would agree. And I think it goes back to the titling. I think we're kind of starting to answer the question here because, I think it was marketed at least with the title, but it really was. I'm wondering if they took for granted that people knew that there was a new Star Wars movie because the show was popular. Disney Plus, like a lot of the shows have done decently. So I think, calling it Mandalorian and Grogu, like there's probably a lot of people out there that like Baby Yoda that have no idea that he has a name.
That's a good point.
So they're like, what the hell is a Grogu? Or even knowing what a Mandalorian is. Like if you said Boba Fett and Baby Yoda, there's probably a lot of casuals that be like, oh, the guy with the helmet, and then like, oh, there's a baby of that little green guy. Like, okay, but when you say Mandalorian and Grogu, people might not get it. So I feel like it's kind of like pointing to us or people who are fans of the television show. It wasn't like, hey, broader audience.
That's a really good point.
I mean, think about it.
Point. Both of those words, the Mandalorian and Grogu, both words that if you don't follow the franchise, what the hell are those?
Yeah, dude. By the way, Sherrick is commenting. I think Sherrick was the one that made the comment about it being Temple of Doom. So that just jogged my memory.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. No, you're 100% right. You're 100% right. And I think, think about it, and this just crossed my mind too. Think about the actual titles of the two other standalone films. This one is The Mandalorian and Grogu, right? Mm-hmm. What are the other two? Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Solo, a Star Wars
story. Yes.
This does not say The Mandalorian and Grogu, a Star Wars story. Even that little bit
According
might have.
Logo, it's the Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Like say The Mandalorian and Grogu, a Star Wars adventure.
There you go. Yeah.
Or
just
a Star Wars motion picture. Something to where people maybe that's how you change it. The Mandalorian and Grogu, a Star Wars motion picture. If they're gonna go old school with the logo like this, go old school with the title.
Mm-hmm.
A Star Wars motion picture. So
this is a deep cut. Red 5 Nord.
Was it?
Can I not show comments? There we go. There we go.
It's up there. Yeah. No. Yeah. Red 5 Nord says,
Wonder if we'll get an alien fisherman action figure. Yeah.
That'll be one of the Black series that you buy for $20 that then 3 weeks later is like, you know, the resale value is like $4.28. So
look, everything comes back eventually. We finally got unofficially Constable Zuvio in the Mandalorian show, actually.
Yes. Yep. I agree.
So, you know, just hang on to that alien fisherman figure and it'll come up at some point, I'm sure.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, to answer that question, and then we'll jump up it. Yeah, I you know, who is it marketed for? I think it was marketed more towards people who are already aware of and fans of the property. It's kind of how it feels. And I say that just because of the fact, again, I fall back on people that I know that really follow Star Wars weren't aware of it. So
yeah, something missed in the marketing for sure.
Yeah. Take it easy, Sherrick, man. Go get some rest. There goes Matt. But yeah, so you know, to wrap things up here, my final take, I loved it. I can't wait to go see it again. Steph wants to see it again, which is great. So I'm going to see it at least 4 times in the theater.
Our mother hasn't seen it, and neither has you know, Miranda either. Unfortunately, I'm out of town next week. It's so bad, unfortunately, with this box office. I hope that there are still showings when I get back, so we can get both of them to the theater to see it.
Well, there was a number of showings this week still, so that's good. So we'll see. Dude, it is.
I mean, it's got to still be there, right? We're only talking like a month. No matter, this movie isn't a total bomb where it's going to be out of theaters in 5 weeks.
No, no, okay. You might have just a couple shows a day or something, but yeah, I hope it gets legs somehow. I hope people start appreciating it. Like I said, dude, and you know, the hardcore fans have loved it. I don't know a single Star Wars fan friend of mine that's like, meh. I mean, my boss is like, I mean, it was cool. I don't know if I'll see it again. It was cool. But then again, he's also one of those that thinks that Kathleen Kennedy ruined Star Wars. So that's, you know how much credence I give that.
Right. I'm going to ask you a really hard question to wrap this up then.
Sure.
Do you want to see these characters continue with a season 4 of the show, or a Mandalorian? I'm sorry, a Mandu and Grogu 2?
I'll take whatever I can get. I love the characters. This just cemented my love for these. No, it is. I want it to continue because, and I say it that way, AJ, because if season 4 was viable, we wouldn't have this movie. We would have already had Mando season 4. And so now that we have the movie, if they're going to consider this not a success, then we're not going to get another movie. And if we already didn't get another season of the show, does that mean these characters stop? Like, this is the last we're going to get? I want whatever I get. I hope, dude, they can't.
That's the thing. This thing is kind of in like no man's land because streaming is not making the money. They finally realized that if you pay to produce this thing and then don't get someone else to pay you to distribute it, that you just lose money on it. So then they go back to the theaters because at least then they get a cut from theaters, except it's not producing money either. So where does that leave them? Where does that leave Star Wars?
Yeah, I was actually just going to go there. Like I part of me thinks that like Disney is reading like a-hole online bullshit too much. That's what killed Solo, I think. And people not going and just not. I don't know. That's a whole other episode. That is.
All right, well, I'll keep my answer simple to my own question. Okay. I want Mandalorian season 4 because as much as I enjoyed this movie, it was a very accelerated pace compared to a TV show, and I love these characters. And my favorite part of the movie was when it slowed down and we got some character. So I would like the time that a TV season affords for more character.
You know what? I'm going to say that too then. And here's why. And then we can close up shop for the night. This seems like a very good pivot point. The movie would be an awesome pivot point. You have all the stuff that happens in the first 3 seasons. Then you have the movie, which now pivots to, okay, Mando's working for the New Republic. Here's a whole different set of adventures. Like he's like, you know, he's no longer like just straight bounty hunter Boba Fett. Like, I'll do any nefarious thing for money. He's actually working on the good guy's side and utilizing those skills to hunt down these Imperial remnants. Like, you know.
Oh, so you're saying treat this more like a pilot episode, so to speak.
I would. Yeah. Why not? Because you basically shifted the character's focus, and you still have. I mean, dude, they bring in Luke Skywalker to the damn thing, and he's in there like for 10 minutes or whatever. Like, you're telling me that's all you're gonna do, and you bring in a baby Yoda, and you're just gonna have him like it just stops. What the fuck is that?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. TV show.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, that'll do it for tonight, guys. We'll close up shop on that note. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. I completely forgot to talk about being interviewed for Chris Mock's documentary. So I'll talk about it before we close up shop. So yeah, one of my other things, I drove home from Michigan the day after seeing the movie. And I was interviewed by our very good friend, Chris Mock of the Mocktails from the Cantina podcast. He's also made The Force Among Us, The Force Within Us. I believe the third one is going to be called The Force Around Us. And he was filming at Playhouse Square here in Cleveland, and he asked me to come down and do a bunch of footage to potentially be included in his upcoming third part of that documentary series he's making. So that was a lot of fun. So I got to send out a huge thank you to him because that was a total blast to get into all of my Star Wars feels the night before with my buddy and his daughter, and then get to go talk about it the very next day here in my beautiful hometown of Cleveland. So, yeah. So anyways, on that note, we'll close up shop. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Nerf Herder Council. We will be right back here 2 weeks from tonight. It will be Wednesday, June 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you are watching on our YouTube channel or that of the Virtual Cantina Network, please don't forget to click the like button, click the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we go live. We are brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/NHC for your 30-day trial and a free audiobook download. I just finished another book that I would highly recommend. I can't say highly. I would mostly recommend. There's a little bit too much of just reading out what the plot of these movies was. But there was a audiobook that I just finished listening to about the making of Rob Zombie's Firefly trilogy, House of a Thousand Corpses, and Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell. I think the book's called House of Rejects, I'm pretty sure. But go check that out. Like I say, occasionally gets a little bit too much into just reading what the plot is, but there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. I thought it was really good, very entertaining. So you can get that for free if you have not signed up for Audible, which you should do. So, and lastly, before we get out of here, I would be remiss if I did not remind everybody about the upcoming event at Rebel ScumCon. That would be the Virtual Cantina Network presenting Boonta Eve Special Edition Texas 2, Electric Boogaloo, on Friday, August 7th, 2026 from 8 till midnight. It's at the Rebel Patio Grill at 9305 Preston Road in Frisco, Texas. There'll be meet and greets, sabacc courtesy of our friends at Hyperspace Props, live band karaoke, full bar, and food menu available. And it is brought to you by our main sponsor, New Hampshire LASIK Associates. They are the official event sponsor of Boonta Eve Texas 2. See the galaxy in a whole new way. So, AJ, before we get out of here, any final thoughts from you?
I love the movie, and so should you.
I love it. Nice and concise. All right. Well, guys, then, until next time, which, again, is going to be Wednesday, June 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I am your host, GT. He is AJ.
Gonna post a link in the description of this one to a browser-based version of Dejarik if you want to play.
Oh, very nice. Oh, and thanks to everybody in the chat tonight. Kale and Chastity and Joe and John and Zamian. Appreciate you guys. It was great to see you. And, yeah, as always, y'all, we will catch you later.
This is the way.
bucket of bolts is never gonna get us past that blockade.
This bucket's got a few surprises left in her. Plus, me and Chewie are on it. Ain't that right, Chewie?
Hell yeah, you my nerf herder.
You my nerf herder.